Hey, so Bryce here. Today we're going to be talking about how to thrive as a virtual bookkeeper. So I'm going to go live, or not. Actually, I'm live on this camera. I am
recording in progress.
Filming the YouTube over here, and I'm also going to be filming our PowerPoint presentation here. So 3 different screens and 3 different videos all going on at one time. So I'm going to be splitting my attention, splitting my focus across those 3. So how to thrive as a virtual bookkeeper who's looking for clients. So these are the key pillars that lead to success as far as for my firm and for the 345 other firms we have mentored up to this point. So my name is Bryce Tubbs, and I'm sharing the main pillars of success to ensure that you're thriving and growing, because it took me a long time to really understand what business was truly about. And if I'd had these frameworks, these pillars, these thought processes, it wouldn't have taken me so long to go and find success. Now, one thing that I've kind of found over time is a driver I like being able to see other people's success, right? So a lot of times what happens is, as you get more and more successful, it gets harder and harder to be able to create relationships with people, because they just don't really understand the different things you're going through, right? So they don't understand maybe you have to work on a holiday. Right now it's Memorial Day and I'm filming videos for you guys. I'm talking to clients, I'm doing different things. A lot of regular people just don't really understand those different things. So by having a different community of people who understand what you're going through or going through some of the same things, it makes it a lot easier to kind of find fulfillment throughout life. Also, if you want some help growing your business, maybe you're seeing some of these videos, maybe you watched some of our other videos in the past, and you just want help growing your business in the shortest time period possible towards you reaching your goals, go ahead and click down inside the link inside the description, either above, below the video, book a call. Let's see if it's a good fit for us to help you. Okay, so jumping into this thing, okay, so 3 main pillars to focus on. So number 1, okay, when it comes to success or lackluster result, it's not a matter of doing more activities. It's about doing a small amount of activities at a very, very, very high level. So oftentimes you guys are going to hear me say this a lot, right? 0 to 5K per month is all about learning sales, right? It's all about understanding how to present your value to a potential client, explain your pricing, and basically give them a compelling reason as to why they should work with you at the price point you're asking. If you can't get someone to say yes on a consultation call, then you're just really not going to be able to grow your business, right? So it's not about a website, it's not about marketing, it's not about a lot of different things, just about sales, okay? Now, 0 to 6K is going to be about price. We'll talk about pricing in a minute, but first things first can be sales. Okay, so understand this is critical and crucial in terms of your career, because if you are unable to really get this thing to work, it's going to take you 20,000 times longer to go and grow your business. Because if you don't understand sales, it's going to lead to you having really, really lackluster results, because you need a million more much. AFISNAM says, bring them on camera. Yeah, which one specifically? Have you looked at our YouTube channel to see our different reviews and testimonials? I think it's Miss SNM. I'm talking to the live person. Yeah, next thing. So pillar number 1 is going to be about pricing, okay? So first we talked about sales, and that was a prerequisite. Now we're going to talk specifically about pricing. So I'm always talking about aiming high. So we're charging an appropriate amount of money rather than charging a small amount of money per client. Now, a challenge most people have is when they're first getting started, they're going after clients that can only afford beginner rates. And what that causes is that not only do you not make as much money, you start to form an opinion of the market that causes you to think that all clients are like that. So for me, for example, I was going through when I first got started, I was charging $300 to $450 for my service, because I didn't really understand how to price things. So whenever I go to a business owner, they'd be like, well, I can't afford that. Can you instead do $200 a month? I would start thinking that, okay, well, maybe $450 is kind of the upper echelon, so only large companies can afford to pay that. But if I'm talking to these regular clients, then it's just I don't know if people can afford that. And that causes my average price point to go down. But then once I started getting like more coaching, I started like understanding like pricing. I started looking at some of like basically some peers, different clients. I saw like they had clients for like $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. I was like, oh crap. Maybe it's that people. It's not that people can't afford it. Maybe it's just I'm going after the wrong people, right? Because the person would like ask like, well, what's the like revenue that your clients are doing? And be like, well, these guys are doing about like 100,000 a year, maybe 200,000 a year. Like, well, that's your first problem. You have to go after clients that can afford to pay you more, and that's going to follow the revenue, right? So generally, you're shooting for a client that can do between that. Generally, the clients can be doing between 500,000 to about $5 million. It's gonna be like a really good sweet spot to where it's like the price you can charge is reasonable and it's gonna actually like significantly move your income forward. But then at the same time, it's not going to be such a large company. You have to wait for like 6 months to get in front of like the business owner, right? When you start getting too high, there sometimes can be like a number of different layers of like red tape you have to go through in order to actually go and talk to a decision maker. So it's a little bit annoying to kind of go back and forth, and like it extends your sales cycles. Okay, so next thing, high clients will really pay based on the value. And also another reason why I really like that is because different piece of advices you give can have two different outcomes. The first is it can be very, very, very informative. The second is it can drive a lot of value. Now, these do not have to be mutually exclusive, but I've just found that when a business owner is like starting out, you can give one piece of advice and it's like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, and they'll love you forever, but they might not make as much money off that piece of advice as if you're going to a company that already has a lot of momentum, like a company that's going like 1 million to about 3 million per year. If you give them a piece of tangible outcome that actually works, it can be an extra $200, $300, $400, $500,000. And now you basically have paid for yourself and for your services for the next like 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Right? It's very easy for you to get paid a high amount of money if you've already made the person in the company money. Because now there's kind of a psychological thing that some business owners have, and this is more often than not, is that they value loyalty. Now I understand like maybe you've had a job and like the company fired you without any warning. I'm not necessarily saying like for corporate companies, but when you're dealing with a small company and you're dealing with the owner on a consistent basis, they value that loyalty and they try and help you. For example, I have a number of like virtual assistants that have been with me since even before I had my accounting firm. Like back when we were trying to make e-commerce work, I used to try and do like e-commerce, and like I had a virtual assistant that was doing a lot of product research and different things like that. I'm still working with that virtual assistant today because she helped me out back when I didn't have a lot of money, back when I didn't have any success, back when things were failing, right? I can trust her that when things are not going right, she figures things out and helps me move to the next level, right? That's loyalty. There's been times in like the last like year where it's like I didn't really have like super detailed work for her to do, and like rather than just like say, oh hey, we're just not going to work together, it's like okay, we just keep her on payroll like due to like the past thing that she's done. Now that's not to say like that you have you stop doing stuff for that person, right? Eventually, like if you're in that position like my virtual assistant is, it doesn't mean you stop thinking of things and like trying to help, right? It's just there might be times where your services are less needed than others, but since you've helped out so much, the person is willing to work with you. Okay. Now, in order to go and charge higher price points, we do need to make sure that we understand our value and we understand like the value of objective work. So one challenge people have when it comes to pricing is that they tie the price that they think that someone will pay them based on their self-worth. So if they either don't have a million years experience, or if they don't have a bunch of certifications, or if they've never worked with clients before, or if maybe they've worked with 1 or 2 clients but they haven't worked with 5 clients, like there's a lot of different like things that our brains can kind of cook up and create up that cause us to not believe that we are worth the amount of money that we're asking for, right? So there's 2 simple tricks you can do to charge a higher price point. One is going to be that you need to view the price of your service as an equivalent measurement to how much value you are providing. Now, if you don't know what value means, on our YouTube channel, we actually have a video that breaks down value and breaks down like what are the different, like there's like 7 elements of pricing your services that you can price your service based on. They can all like mix together, right? When you understand that, it's not about you, right? Because I mean, like think about it, like you know, what's the value of a person anyway? It's more than dollars, right? It doesn't translate straight to dollars. Like, okay, yeah, you can say like, okay, well, I make this much of my job, and it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm worth 120,000 a year. It's like, well, are you? I mean, if you went and started your own business and you just like sat there for 2 or 3 years and you're at 200, 300K a year, I mean, were you really at 100,000, or were you just underpaid at 100,000? What if you went on and got like $1 million? What if you built your business to $300,000 a year, then you sold it and you got $1 million straight up? So maybe your value wasn't 100,000. Maybe you were just settling for 100,000. The next thing is, whenever you have a high price point, what I like to do, and this like really helped me build my price points up, was I would find a high price point, especially if it was like a cleanup project associated with it, and I would say a higher price point than what I was used to, and I would expect the person to say no. Okay, that price sounds weird. You're like, Bryce, why would you want someone to say no to you? Okay, the reason why was because I figured that if I could say the price and I could just practice saying the price, then when there was a person who was serious in front of me, then I would actually be able to get it. Number 2, it taught my brain that it was okay to say a high price point and you wouldn't die. Oftentimes when it comes to like fear, and this kind of slides into like confidence, when it comes to fear, it's oftentimes false evidence appearing real, okay? So in my mind, I thought that if I charged a high price point, the person would get mad at me, it just wouldn't work, they would tell everyone else that my prices were too high, and I would like lose out on clients. Usually when someone is nervous and it comes to this business model, it's that something that you do is going to cause a chain reaction that blackballs you from the industry. Right, I've just noticed that from working with all the different students. So number 1, okay, when it comes to the second pillar, it's going to be about confidence. Okay, so not just pricing, never shifting into confidence as a whole. You have to learn to put yourself out there. Okay, the one thing that I was good at when I first got started, even though I wasn't skilled, was I was willing to put myself out there. I was nervous every single time, but I was willing to do it because I knew I needed to go and succeed. So you have to have the confidence to reach out, okay? And understand you will face rejection. You're going to face rejection at every step of the way in this business model. That's just business in general. Every step of the way, okay? You might get denied for a business credit card. You might not be able to actually open up the business bank account because you don't have some kind of paper or some kind of thing, right? You're going to have someone inside of a messenger say, no, they're not interested in working with you. You're going to have someone basically say, I don't want to talk to you. You're going to have someone block you on social media, okay? You're going to have on a consultation call, someone's going to flat out tell you no. You're going to have on a consultation call where someone might be a little bit disrespectful because they're just not good business people, right? You're going to have someone say no and they're going to like change their mind 3 weeks, 6 months. You're going to have someone say yes and then change their mind, okay? Business is all about handling rejections, okay? But if you go and like think of each rejection as like this giant just strike to your ego or strike to you in general, you're not going to make it. You have to learn how to detach the rejection from yourself. There's a lot of people I know, especially, and like I had it to a certain degree, but for me, my makeup and like just me in life, I complain to keep going. I don't complain to stop. So a lot of people, what happens is like whenever someone like starts complaining, they're usually complaining as a way to kind of like to de-stress, but then move to the next thing. When I complain to de-stress, so I have the ability to keep doing it and keep trying it. And I know that baffled a lot of people when I was growing up, and that baffled a lot of people just even when I started my business. Like, well, why would you keep going? Just like it's been more than 2 weeks, you haven't made any money yet. It's like, well, you know, for a business, you know, I think I can make some money. I just don't know exactly like when that's gonna happen because I don't know. You know, I'm trying these different things out. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I don't really know exactly, but I feel like I could do this. And I would come back and be like, man, that business owner sucked, man. He made me sit in his office for 3 hours, and then he ended up like just canceling the meeting. Didn't even want to talk to me. It's like, why would you do that? Or it's like, okay, well, this dentist, like, he told me to come back tomorrow. Then when he came back, the secretary told me he doesn't want to speak to me. Like what is going on? Like that sucks. Like, this person's retarded, right? Excuse my language, you know. But I would say, you know, you're just mad in the moment. And then, what that would lead to is I would just go back the next day and just try it and just try it again. Just do what I could to kind of go, right? So next thing is you have to borrow your confidence from successes, right? Okay. One thing that's going to make you more and more resilient is that every single time that you get rejection, remember the good things. Remember, like, who your loved ones. Remember any challenge you ever overcame. Remember any, like, hardships you went through. Maybe you are really good in, like, working out, and like you hit a new PR on the bench press, or you hit a PR on squats. Remember how much work it took to get there, right? Just remember where you've come from, and that will make you feel better through the rejections. The rejections are hard if you feel like this is an isolated event and you feel that, like, stuff is happening to you rather than for you. Cool. Next thing. So confidence, all this stuff's going to lead to, I'm kind of reading off my PowerPoint presentation. So this camera and this camera, I'm reading off a PowerPoint presentation. I'm killing 3 birds with, like, 1 stone today. Cool. So we already talked about this with quality clients, selective acceptance of clients. Okay, so when you're first getting started, your first instinct is going to be to just try and get as many clients as possible, right? Or you just accept everyone. Anyone that comes to you and wants to pay you money, you're going to accept it, okay? Now, if you're doing this full time and, like, you have no other source of income, okay, you got to do what you got to do, right? Let's say you have no savings, no income, you got to do what you got to do. I understand. But if you're working a job, you have to be very selective with the client you accept because you have a limited amount of time. I'm assuming that if you're watching this video and you have a job, you might have a family as well, okay? So since you have a family, like, that's taking up a lot of your time, especially if you go pick up your kids from school, you have to go wake up an hour earlier to go make lunches. Let's say you have to go and take them to, like, baseball practice. Let's say you have to wait at baseball practice for 2 hours and then bring them back home, right? Because maybe you live, like, 40 minutes away from the school. I understand there's not going to be a lot of time. So whenever you take on a client, it either has to be very little work or a lot of money per client. We need to make sure that we can hit whatever your, like, your expenses are for, like, the month or for the month. We have to make sure your monthly recurring revenue is there. And also remember, business is not about just it's not about how many clients you have. It's more about how much money do you make, at least from 0 to 6 figures per year. When you start getting, you know, above that, then you can start thinking about, you know, like, you want to maybe do, like, some volunteer work. Maybe you want to help the startups. Maybe you want to get a bunch of clients, right? But I'm talking about when you're trying to create escape velocity. That is the velocity and the income needed to leave your job. We have to be selective in the beginning. If there's someone who's, like, really, really small, like, maybe you can, like, make, like, a little mini course, or, like, maybe you can answer their question via text message, right? But maybe take them on pro bono. Like, so when I say pro bono, it's like you say, hey, I'm not right in a position to work with you as a client, but I can answer any questions you might have via text message. Now, understand that since we're not officially working together, my response time is going to be a little bit delayed, but I still want to be able to help you. Or if you need someone who's a little bit more, who has better quality response time, I can refer you to a different person. It's okay to refer people, right? Don't feel like you have to take on the client. Like, the only way you can help someone out is to take on the client, okay? Referring them out to another professional who will actually appreciate them and, like, you know, take a really good, you know, care of them, that is helping them as well, okay? And that's going to help you create strong, long-lasting business relationships, okay? So walk away from low-paying clients in the beginning, or you can assist them for free. Like, trust me, like, it's okay to assist them for free. I would not overextend myself. Again, text message only. I'm not getting on the phone with them. I'm not getting on a video call with them to give them, like, coaching, consulting, etc. Right? You gotta protect your time. Make room for more opportunities. Build some strong client relationships. Provide value, and make sure you respect everyone, even if they're not your client. Okay, just treat everyone with respect, even if they, like, treat you, like, not the most respectful. Like, let's say they, like, laugh at you on a consultation call. Okay, we're still going to treat them with respect. We're just going to, like, you know, gracefully exit the call, right? But don't get disrespectful people, because you never really know kind of what they're going through, and you never really know who they can refer you. I've had people who don't like me refer me great clients. I've had people who I was, like, enemies with and they refer me great clients, right? So it's just like, but that's because you treat everyone with respect and dignity, and you're gonna get a lot back. Cool. So those are a couple different pillars. I know it's a little bit more strategic than tactical. If you want some more videos, we have a bunch on our YouTube channel. You can go check those out. I think I might put a link inside the description depending where you are. I'm assuming that 2 out of 3 of these cameras are already on our YouTube channel, so go watch more of our videos. Also, if you want some help growing your business, and maybe you've been thinking about starting your business, and it's just overwhelming. Or maybe you've already started a business, maybe you have like 1 to like 5 clients, but it's just not growing the way you want, and like you know that if you had a proven process, you'd be able to go and reach 6 figures. If that's you, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video, to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program. Okay? Let's see if it's a good fit. Let's see if there's a way that we can work together. Let's see if there is a proven path that follows in line with like our methodology and our playbook that can help take you through your goals. If that's you, I'd love to see you on the call. If you're not quite ready, that's A-okay. I'll love to see you on the next video. Take it easy. Talk to you soon. Okay, I have to go and turn off like 3 different cameras. So stop there.
Recording stopped.